Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans. Now this is just an open discussion video. I might spit out a few theories here and there, but one big question based off the preview we got last Tuesday for this upcoming episode of Father's Regret was, how will Jim, or how does Jim plan on getting even with Veronica for what she did to David? I mean, to be honest, I feel like this show has really encouraged the art of battle of one-upsmanship. Like, basically, if you get me, then I want to get you back tenfold. So I honestly feel like, is there any other way of getting even with Veronica other than killing her off? And I might actually do a separate video talking about who will bring the Ice Queen down. I mean, the Haves and Have-Nots has done a great job with establishing that for the most part, a majority of the characters have multiple enemies from multiple directions. So people they screwed over, people they manipulated, people they've used to have either relationships with, whether it be romantically, friendly, or a business sense. There's all of these intertangled webs within the cast, so it's really hard to tell who will be the definitive person to take down one other party. I mean, Justin, Veronica, Candace, just three characters off the top of my head where there are so many people who either want to see them pay for what they've done, so many people on the show who have legitimate reasons to want to either kill them off or, get back at them for revenge. So I am wondering to you all, how do you think that Jim would plan on getting even? Because his best buddy, his right-hand man, is literally, I don't know how to say it, face down on a hospital bed with his back looking like freaking, I don't even know. I can't even joke about it. It's like, damn, he's pretty torn up. I mean, obviously not as bad off as Erica, but dang, I feel like, it's pretty clear David's going to be in the hospital for the remainder of this season, possibly. But in any case, I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you how Jim plans on getting even. Jim's probably, I would not chuckling to himself because his friend is in trouble. Because remember, after David went over and told, I had to pimp slap that bitch, it was all about, well, she's going to come back at you harder, right, David? He was like, yeah, I know, but he didn't see it coming. Keep in mind that Jim once called a hit on Veronica. So okay, let's try to connect the storylines here. Vinny Malone is in the hospital wanting to get revenge on that punk who put him in there, Wyatt Cryer. He told Mitch to take it upon himself to go down to the bar to get the information, not to tell the family, because he wants to handle this personally. Mitch goes down to the bar, gets the information, but in order to tell that Benny Young is an innocent man, he had to say Wyatt Cryer. So it stands to reason that Vinny's wishes will not be granted because the Malone family knows that Wyatt Cryer is responsible, so they're probably going to go after him before Vinny is none the wiser, because the Malones work and move quickly. Hence why it's like, oh man, we already sent Sal after Benny, so they're trying to cancel that while they can. Now, parallel story, David's in hospital bed, so he's probably going to be knocked out for a while. I don't know if he's going to be able to talk. I don't know if he's going to be, awake to actually have conversations with people, obviously not being able to move around a lot. So do you think that Jim is going to pull the Malone family, if you will, and take it upon himself to get revenge on Veronica? I would say behind David's back, but that's a joke and poor taste given the circumstances. But do you think Jim is going to take it upon himself to get revenge on Veronica? Do you think he'll call a hit? But remember, the Malones aren't on he's not on the Malone's good side, not to mention that they know for a fact that his son actually almost killed one of their own. So Jim is pretty much, he still has contacts on the street, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Could he call Quita or people on that side of town? Because remember, Veronica used to have deals with those kind of people. Well, people on that side of the track. So it stands to reason that Jim might be able to call one of them up to put a hit on Veronica. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think Jim is. I feel like Veronica is the flashiest of villains. Like, you know, when she does something, she does it big. Jim is somebody who reacts on their emotions, but keep in mind the bloodbath that he planned with the Malones. That was swift and to the point. Like it was almost like no mess whatsoever. For, you know, in terms of like blood splatter and whatnot. Well, I mean, they did stab Toxic to death and slice Terrell's throat, and yeah, it was a bit messy, but it wasn't as destructive as Veronica telling the guy to put the car to explode. So I imagine that, honestly, I don't know if a car explosion is, I mean, Veronica was already in a car wreck, so I feel like the car thing is a bit redundant, even though we love Veronica loves a good fire. So let me just ask you the question. Do you think Jim will actually have Veronica killed? Do you think he'll cause an accident to scar her up just like David is now? I want to leave that up to you all. How do you think Jim will handle it? Do you think Jim is going to take it upon himself to get revenge? Do you think that David is going to have his say? Do you think he's going to want to initiate the payback? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Will Jim and David get even with the Ice Queen?